Hey y'all, it's Lippy. What'd you think of what we got planted? I'm not sure I showed you everything. I think I showed you the olive trees, the muscadines, and the mimosa trees that we had got from Deep South Homestead the end of winter of this year. Oh, the sun is going to blister me. Yeah, I was sitting on my little bench, had me a cup of coffee, and I was walking out in the garden. We also got all the beds emptied, and to kind of get an idea of, how much dirt are we going to need? A lot. We're going to need a lot. But it's ready. I'm looking at all of my flower pots. They have been emptied. So yeah, now it's to readjust, moving into a different season, figuring out what I want to plant, figuring out, what dirt we can get. And, so we have an idea of how much we can plant this fall. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are doing that. But as I was walking, basically what I was doing is I was getting my composure back. And I checked my olive trees. Now, we've had those for, 4 or 5 months. But we had to watch and pay attention. What was the best spot to plant these? And as you can see, one of them has olives. Because an olive tree, to Buddy and I, represent peace. It also represents reconciliation. Not between him and I, but between us and Louisiana. 2020 was a year that we separated ourselves from home. We'll never know why. We're not supposed to ask why. But we felt in war because of things that happened personally, between a storm, loss of job, as many. And we said, okay, we're just going to close that chapter. And we took a different route. And as many of you know, that was not the best route to take. The route we should have taken was to stand tall and really fight to get our lives back to our comfort zone. Because really and truly, the state didn't do it to us. It was just shit that happened, to be blunt. But you have to learn that lesson. But today's talk is not about that. But the olive tree represents us. We reconciled. We're home. But what this topic is about is the majority of my morning, actually 3 hours and 45 minutes. I had to take a break. Now, most of you that follow me don't have any children in public school. You may have grandchildren. Some of you live in states outside of Texas. But there is a meeting as I sit here making this video right now in Texas on the TEKS program, which is, it stands for, because I don't want to mess it up, the Texas Essentials and Skills meeting, called TEKS, T-E-K-S. Because my grandkids go to a Texas public school. That's why my daughter moved there. It is supposed to be, the area she's in, one of the highest education schools. And I'll agree, for what we know so far in 2 years. So I feel like I've invested in spending my time today listening to this school board meeting because I have grandchildren there. But most of you know, Texas is massive in the United States. Most times what is implemented in Texas, California, New York, it trickles down to the other states, okay? It's just the way it is. I don't care if you're in the largest Bible Belt state there is. These pockets have a way of filtrating. And I'm asking if you have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, children that's in public schools, see what's listed for the forum to be voted on in 2022 before the end of the year, because that implements what is going to start being taught in the fall of 2023 in these public schools. And what I have come to realize, that they've listed some of these social education is the best way to put it, as pilot programs. So do yourself a favor and look in your counties. See what the pilot programs are offering. Because by putting a different name to it, they're able to implement and slide through the back door of nothing more than socialism. And I hope I don't lose y'all for saying that, but I've got to say it out loud. This is Lippy talking. When you want to remove God and choose the word community, I have a problem with that. When you want to talk about the LGBTQ whatever in the elementary level, I have a problem with that. This is as you become an adult, you find your own way, you do your own thing. That's what makes this country so versatile. We're a blend of all flavors. And I'm very proud to be part of that. But what I will not do is have them take away from your basic reading, writing, and arithmetics. And this is falling under the history and civics program. They basically want to wash out civics. Now, the 4 people who supposedly studied this and brought it to the forefront. This is going to sound discriminating. That's not what I mean. But you had not one. Well, you had 2 Asians, 1 Hispanic, and 1 Arabian. That's called stacking the deck. I have a problem with that. I got a big damn problem with focusing on certain pockets of ethnic background. We need to wash that and be one. Because you see, every novel written has a different cover, but the body of the story is beautiful. I'm at the point, take every cover off the books. Because that's how I view people. I don't view people by a cover. I read their story. I love people. But if I'm going to say I don't think it was biased, that'd be a lie, because it was. You cannot, for Texas, allow a board of 12, but you got 4 people that did the research, and they deemed what needs to be revised from 170 pages to over 700 pages. What they spoke on last year was taken out of health that they agreed with all the parents and the boards, and they just took it and moved it to history. So you see, everything they said that they would not teach or pilot was just removed from one category, moved to another. Is it really about education to our children, or is it about programs and investors and who profits from this? I'd say the children don't. Not when the state of Texas is 71% low education, meaning they're low in writing, reading, and arithmetic. That's the fundamentals of education. Now, I'm not saying pull your kids out and homeschool them. I would. But folks, y'all know that it is 2 people in a household working. Some have double jobs. Their taxes pay for these public schools so their kids can get an education. But all I'm hearing on education is, wash history away. Let's make our own history. Yeah, it's a crying ass shame that Asian people have been bullied. Crying ass shame. It's a crying ass shame that black community has been bullied, and all other communities. You know what I say? Arrest people, use them for examples, and it would stop this crap. Because there again, I don't judge a book by its cover. And I bet all of y'all would agree. I just love people. But by damn it, when it comes to children and children's education, leave it education. As they become young adults, they can form their own opinions or their own desires, their own lifestyle. They form their own way. But that's not what's happening, y'all. They're already in pilot programs. They're already teaching these young elementary students this crap. And the reason why I call it crap is because no 6 or 7-year-old can barely color inside the line. And now you want to talk about their gender. They don't even know what chicken nugget dip they want. I'm skirting on thin ice because I could just derail. I could derail real quick in this rant. Y'all, we got to save these kids and let them make their own choices. But let me tell you this. There's so much to tell. Where they formed this opinion that would be better for our students is because college professors said that the freshmen coming on campus was not taught this. They came in uneducated. They came in with blinders on. They wasn't aware that different pockets of the community and sexual orientation even existed. Excuse me? You took this from professors at colleges that indoctrinate these children? Well, hell yeah, you did. So it tells me you're on the Fruit Loop train too. Throw that shit out the window. Let's focus on education. Leave that for the individual. But when you start trying to teach my grandchildren this adult stuff, I'll show you ass. I'll show up at that meeting. So, I'm going to keep watching it, but I just needed a break. But basically, for this rant, if you will, check at your local area. Check and see if there's pilot programs. I had no clue what that meant. Well, I didn't even know there was a such thing as a pilot program. So make sure you check it in your area. Read what it is. It is a way to bring a little socialism into our education. It's a back door. Because therefore it's not signed. It's not implemented in our curricular education moving forward. It's a pilot program. There's also 4 more for Texas for next year, but those are not available. Every paragraph ends with, we will revisit this next year. So in other words, they can keep adding pilot programs. And you don't have a voice in it. It's not in the curriculars as Texas has implemented, because it's still a pilot program. So you see what I'm saying? I give it to them. They're smart. They're smart. They sneaking that little agenda in there on our children. Our children, our future. And it's dead ass wrong. This is an adult topic. So my grandson at 6, he comes in and says, well, Mama, you know, I was mean. I said, you was mean? Yeah, I'm mean. I said, what do you mean you're mean? Because I didn't love a little gay boy because he wanted to be a girl. He's 6. Now, he didn't say that. I'm just using that as an example. So you see, they have taken a child, innocent children, and you got adult conversation, adult choices that I'm not prejudiced on. Hell no. I live me, you live you. We all get along great. But you're taking this and you're cramming it down my 6-year-old grandson's throat. People. You know, it wouldn't hurt if you have your small community and both of you mom and dads are working. Get with all the other mom and dads. It'd probably save you money for what public school cost. And see if there is a retired teacher or teachers that would just work for a little donation. And let them homeschool your kids if both of you have to work. Because I sure don't want your kids coming in and saying, hey, I'm in a pilot class. It ain't working for Delta Airlines either. So I thought I'd just share that. Check in your community. Check for pilot programs. I had no clue till today. So, as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And know that Lippy loves each and every one of you with all my heart. And none of y'all have a cover to the book. I love your history. Isn't that what matters? Bye, y'all.